Good morning, sir. Good morning, cadets. I'm Cadet Amolo Harley Digby, and today I'm going to explain about Marpol 73 by 78 Convention from Annex 1 to Annex 3.
So, what is Annex 1? When it was adopted, entered into force, and its objectives. So, Annex 1 Regulations for the Prevention of Pollution by Oil. So, the term oil can be defined as viscous fluid containing petroleum, which can be in the form of crude oil, heavy fuel oil, sludge, oil refuse, and refined products like MGO or marine gas oil. The affirmed objective of Marpol Annex 1, which entered into force on 2nd of October 1983, is to protect the marine environment through the complete elimination of pollution by oil and other damaging elements, and to lessen the chances of accidental discharge of any such elements. So all ships must have oil filtering equipment, 15 ppm or parts per million alarm arrangement, and standard discharge connection. So for all tankers, specific must have oil or water interface detector, crude oil washing system, if fitted, oil discharge monitoring and control cargo and ballast pumping, piping, and discharge arrangements, and engine room or bilge holding tank to slope tank pumping and piping arrangement. Special areas under Marpol Annex 1: the Mediterranean Sea, Baltic Sea, the Black Sea, the Red Sea, Gulf area, the Gulf of Aden, Antarctic Sea, Northwest European waters, Oman area of the Arabian Sea, and southern South African waters. Oil record books are the important document which needs to be carried on board ship under Marpol Annex 1 on vessels of 400 gross tonnage and above, other than oil tanker, and all tanker ship of 150 GT and above. So what are the equipment under Marpol Annex 1? These are oily water separator and ODMCS or oil discharge monitoring control system. What is Annex 2? When it was adopted, entered into force, and its objectives. So Annex 2, regulations for the control of pollution by noxious liquid substances in bulk. So Annex 2 came into force on 6th of April 1987. Carriage of chemicals in bulk is covered by regulation in SOLAS Chapter 7, Carriage of Dangerous Goods, and Marpol Annex 2. Both conventions require chemical tanker built after July 1, 1986 to comply with the International Bulk Chemical Code. So the objective of Annex 2 is to dilute cargo residues in seawater to prescribed limits depending on their pollution hazard and facilitate the distribution of discharges by utilizing the wake of the ship. So the IBC code sets out the international standards for the safe carriage of dangerous chemicals and noxious liquid substances in bulk by sea, and the design and construction standards of ships, and a list of chemicals and their environmental hazard rating. So what are the categorization of noxious liquid substances or NLS? So there are four categorization of noxious liquid substances or NLS. These are category X, category Y, category Z, and other substances or OS. In category X, noxious liquid substances which, if discharged into the seas from tank cleaning or deballasting operations, are deemed to present a major hazard to either marine resources or human health, and therefore justify the prohibition of the discharge into the marine environment. Next is category Y, noxious liquid substances which, if discharged into the sea from tank cleaning or deballasting operations are deemed to present a hazard to either marine resources or human health or cause harm to amenities or other legitimate uses of the sea, and therefore justify a limitation to the quality and quantity of the discharge into the marine environment. Next is category Z, noxious liquid substances which, if discharged into the sea from tank cleaning or deballasting, are deemed to present a minor hazard to either marine resources or human health, and therefore justify less stringent restriction on the quality and quantity of the discharge to the marine environment. Next is other substances or OS. OS are considered to present no harm to marine resources, human health, amenities, or other legitimate uses of the sea when discharged to the tank cleaning or deballasting operations. Cargo record book. Every ship to which Annex 2 shall be provided with a cargo record book. Each entry shall be signed by the officer or officers in charge of the operation concerned, and each page shall be signed by the master of the ship. The cargo record book shall be kept in such a place as to be readily available for inspection at all reasonable times, and it shall be preserved for the period of 3 years after the last entry has been made. What is Annex 3? When it was adopted, entered into force, and its objectives. Annex 3, regulations for prevention of pollution by harmful substances carried by sea in package form. So it was entered into force 1st of July 1992, and it contains regulations which include requirements on packaging, marking, labeling, documentation, stowage, and quantity limitations. So the objectives of Marpol Annex 3 is it aims to prevent or minimize the pollution of marine environment by harmful substances in package forms or in freight containers, portable tanks, or road and rail tanks, wagons, or other forms of containment specified in the schedule for harmful and substances in the International Maritime Dangerous Goods or IMDG code. So there are 8 regulations of Marpol Annex 3. So the first one is Regulation 1 Application, Regulation 2 Packing, Regulation 3 Marking and Labeling, Regulation 4 Documentation, Regulation 5 Stowage, Regulation 6 Quantity Limitations, Regulation 7 Exceptions, and Regulation 8 Port State Control or Operational Requirements. So IMDG code or International Maritime Dangerous Goods have 9 classes. So class 1, which is explosives, class 2 gases, class 3 flammable liquid, class 4 flammable solid, class 5 oxidizing substances and organic peroxide, class 6 toxic and infectious substances, class 7 radioactive materials, class 8 corrosive, class 9 miscellaneous dangerous goods. Marking and labeling. Marking mainly refers to UN number, proper shipping names, UN's specification marks, and other markings, while labeling mainly means hazard symbols and handling labels displayed on small means of packages, usually less than 450 liters. So before this video ends, I want to share a quotation. According to Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, if you want to build a ship, don't drum up people to collect wood, and don't assign them tasks and work, but rather teach them to long for the endless immensity of the sea. That's why we need to work harder. We need to follow we need to understand, we need to apply all the annexes in order to prevent danger at sea. That's all. Thank you. Stay safe and God bless us all always.